Okay, here's a quick overview on the different types of squats and which ones work for who and why we choose them for different body types. So here is a side view of 4 different types of squat. Starting on the left, the very familiar goblet squat with the weight in front. The second one, less familiar but still very useful. It's called the front squat, where the barbell rests on your shoulders and rests right in front of your neck. The next one, the classic back squat, the one we know to be the squat when we're talking about a squat. And then the less popular, I never do it, I never coach it, and it's very rare, called the low bar squat. We kind of use the deadlift variations. We move for the similar purpose that people use low bar squats. The difference between the 4. Difference number 1. Goblet squat, that's where the weight is for the goblet squat, so it's in front of the body. The front squat is probably the closest to the midline, but still considered in front. Well, it is in front of your body. Then the back squat, you can see that the barbell is slightly behind your body, and the low bar back squat is the furthest behind your body. The effect of having effect number 1 of having the weight in different positions, you'll see that on the goblet squat, your butt is the closest to the midline, therefore your spine is the most vertical. Then you'll see for the front squat, your hips are a little bit further behind your body, creating a slightly increased angle of the spine in relation to the ground. Then with the back squat, you can see that the angle of the spine increases again slightly. Then the low bar back squat increases again. When we're talking about the squat, if the hips take less, if the hip joint takes less of a load, then the knee has to take, a joint has to do some of the work. So you'll see in the goblet squat that actually if the hips are close to the midline, then the knees have to be further forward. Therefore, there's a greater load on the knee, or a greater angle of the knee. Then if you look at the front squat, the knees are slightly more closer to the midline, and the angle of the knee joint is decreased slightly. Again, with the back squat, the angle of the joint is less again, and the knee is slightly, even though it doesn't look like that in this picture, generally slightly closer to the midline. And then it's quite pronounced here. You can see that the angle of the knee of the low bar squat is quite a bit behind, quite a bit closer to the midline, and the hips are a long way back. So the moral of this story is that there are plenty of variations of squats with different purposes, and there's always going to be a squat that is useful for you, and you'll always have some kind of preference for a certain type of squat based on 1, your goals, 2, your physiology, 3, what you've practiced before, I guess. But knowing the difference between the different types of squats, I thought would be helpful for you to help you understand why you're doing them and how you benefit from each of them. Anyway, thanks. Any questions, just shout out.